guys, it's Sarah. I'm back in my kitchen and I am back with another cheesy recipe. Since you guys loved the recipe I did with US cheese the last time, which was my ultra cheesy gyoza, you guys really liked that recipe, I'm back with another Asian-inspired cheesy recipe. So today I am making my cheese stuffed meatballs in Thai green curry sauce. I am using 2 US cheeses for this recipe. First, I have my Raw Jalapeño Jack. They take this Monterey Jack cheese and they infuse it with red and green jalapeno chilies. So I knew this was the one for this recipe when I discovered it because I could have that spice on the outside with the green curry sauce, but also on the inside when the meatballs split open with that cheesy goodness. And to just make this even more melty and delicious, you want to use a second cheese that melts really well, like mozzarella or something else. And when it melts, it turns into this milky, creamy, ooey gooey amazingness. So I'm gonna mix these 2 cheeses together and then put them in the center of my beef meatballs. So first I am going to cut up my cheeses into some small pieces so that I can mix them together easily. I know it sounds really unlikely to mix green curry and cheese. After all, we don't really have much cheese in Southeast Asian cuisine, but the combination of green chilies and this milky, creamy cheese is something to me that's so delicious, you know, especially in Mexican cuisine. You get a lot of cheese mixed with chili, and something about that creamy cheese really goes with the spicy heat of the chili. American cheeses, when they went to the World Cheese Awards last year, which by the way sounds like a place I would like to be, where they just taste cheese and award prizes, I would be very good at that. Thank you very much. But US cheeses won 131 medals at the World Cheese Awards last year. So even though it's perfect for cooking with, this is still really good quality, high-end cheese, because I want to make sure that I'm infusing my meatballs with only the best, of course. I want to start making the meatball mixture. I'm using minced beef for this, but you can basically use whatever minced meat you like. It's basically a standard meatball formula. So I'm gonna start with the minced beef. Seasoning, very important. I'm gonna do salt and some white pepper since we're going for a bit of a Thai slant. These are the ingredients that bind the meatball together. Breadcrumbs, I'm using panko breadcrumbs, which are the Japanese style. They're already seasoned, they're really light and fluffy, and I love using them. So those go in. Crack an egg in. In a classic American style meatball recipe, you're gonna use milk, but since I'm making a Thai style curry sauce, I'm going to use some coconut milk instead. And then for a little bit of extra flavoring, some ground coriander. And now I'm just gonna use my hands and mix it all together. The meatball mixture will feel really wet when you start, but once all the moisture has been absorbed and it's holding together, you're good to go. Now you just wanna pluck off little balls of the meatball mixture, roll them into a small ball. You don't want to start with anything that's too big because we're going to stuff this with cheese. So I'm going to make a little dimple in the center and grab a few cubes of the pepper jack, which is my jalapeno pepper infused Monterey Jack, and add the other cheese as well. And then I'll take the rest of the meat mixture and cover up the cheese just to make sure that all that cheese is sealed in there and it's not going to burst out when we cook these meatballs. Then just give it a little roll to cover and seal the meatball. And then that's it. Set it aside. So just keep doing that until you've finished your meat mixture and all the cheese filling. If you're looking to try out this recipe, experiment with different cheeses because, you know, in the US they make more than 600 types of cheese, and the good news is they're all really easy to buy here in Singapore, so you can get cooking and get cheesy. And I'm just gonna let these meatballs chill in the fridge until I am ready to fry them, and in the meantime I will make the very basic, simple green curry paste. This really is very easy. All you need to do is blend up some large green chilies, add some small green chilies if you want some heat, then add ginger, some garlic, And instead of the traditional shallots, I'm using red onions because they're easier to cut. So far, you can probably tell that this is not an authentic Thai green curry paste. I want to make this really easy for anyone to make, even if you can't find those specialty ingredients. But this is something I think is quite important. This is coriander, cilantro, and if you can find some coriander with the roots still attached like that, then that's what you want to get. In Thai cuisine, the roots are used to get lots of flavor. So what we're gonna do is cut here, set the leaves aside, and we can use them as a garnish. And we're gonna use this portion. I've washed it really well to get rid of any soil. You want the roots, the stems, and that's gonna go straight in. That's gonna give you so much beautiful fragrance and flavor. To amplify that coriander flavor, I'm gonna add just a little bit of ground coriander. And normally you would use lemongrass, but I don't want this green curry paste to taste really aromatic and fragrant because I don't want it to clash with the cheese too much. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of lime zest instead. That has the nice citrus fragrance and it has a touch of bitterness as well. I want to sear the meatballs before I cook the curry paste, so a little bit of oil goes into a pan. I'll get this on a high heat and sear the meatballs until they're golden brown all over, but we don't need them to be cooked through because they're going to cook through in the green curry sauce. After the meatballs have been seared in the oil, you can see how all that beefy flavor and goodness has kind of infused the oil. You've got these crusty golden brown bits, and that's why we're gonna put the chili paste, the curry paste in right now so that it absorbs all of that beefy flavor. And we're kind of cooking through some of the other aromatics, the garlic, the chili. They're kind of making friends in the pot so that all these flavors are gonna meld together beautifully. And even if there is some spice in there, the coconut milk is going to take all of that heat down and make it really nice and mellow and delicious. I'll just take this and fill it up with a bit of water to clean out the coconut milk and dilute the sauce a bit. And look at that beautiful color! Once you have that alabaster white coconut milk hitting the curry paste, it turns into this beautiful, mild, pastel green color. Wow, I'm so pleased with myself right now. Now what you want to do is just give it a little taste. And then we'll season this completely to taste. So we're gonna use fish sauce, which is a classic Thai ingredient. It's gonna make this really savory and delicious. Some sugar for sweetness, and then right at the end, if you want that hit of acidity, some lime juice. We'll let the meatballs simmer in the green curry sauce for just a few minutes until they're cooked through. And this is gonna be so good. Have you ever looked at a meatball and thought it was gonna be so delicious and bite in and it was dry? Well, you're not gonna find a dry meatball here because when all that cheese melts, it makes these meatballs super juicy from the inside. You've got the beautiful flavors of a mild aromatic green curry, echoed in the slightly spicy pepper jack cheese, all wrapped up in this beautiful little meaty bundle. You think you know these flavors, but when they come together, they become something so new and so delicious. It's been so much fun experimenting with US cheese, and I hope you try this recipe at home because I really love it. Yum.